it all up for you.
And you're like Gregory Allen Lapin.
I was like, I set it up. They're like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, man. He was like, holy fuck, dude, everything's perfect. I was like, well, yeah, no shit.
Fucking jack of all trades, dude. This is my first podcast I've ever done in bed. I'm laying down. You know what I'm going to do right now?
I kind of like the hands-free.
Yeah, these headsets are nice, man. These headsets.
Except you're going to hear all of our heavy breathing. I have to
who's that?
I think it's all of us.
All right. There we go. All right, so there's the fucking picture. That's the episode picture.
Oh, was I even looking?
You can see me in bed with my shorty shorts on.
Yeah.
That'll be on YouTube. All right, well, everybody's fucking tired. We had a rad couple days.
Fantastic days.
And anytime we all get together, I like to just put something out. And we got invited to come to Vortex for a day of long-range shooting. And it was fucking rad. I don't do this stuff enough anymore to, like, maintain proficiency at it.
Yeah.
So I felt like a little bit of frustration settling in, trying to fucking put it all together. But by the end of the day, I walked away happy.
Yes.
Dude, this day filled up my happiness cup.
For more than just shooting, just getting together with the homies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I did not have to be the guy. Mm-hmm. I didn't have to be on the podium. I didn't have to be doing the demonstrations.
The big show.
I was just another dude learning about this piece of gear and refining my long-range shooting with my homies.
Bro, you could do a whole episode on that alone, because there's something that, like, and I think it's like a true symbol of humility to be able to, like, sit down and take a backseat as a student again.
Yeah. And, you know, like, I'm not an operational sniper. I never worked as an operational sniper. That being said, I've been through 3 sniper schools. I've shot quite a bit of long range. I have all the data. I know how to do it. I've hit targets out to a mile. So I have some decent foundation baseline. But I just shut the fuck up today and just listened to Nick and Josh. And I was learning about the new piece of gear, the Impact, and their new turret style on their scopes. And
that Impact is fucking cool,
dude. It's super cool, and
that was that also filled up. I'm going to say that filled up my fun cup.
Yeah.
That absolutely was a fun fucking day.
Well, and because people already asked me about this on Instagram, and I don't even know, like, how do you describe exactly what this is? Well, it's called the Impact 4000 Ballistic Rail-Mounted Laser Rangefinder.
It's more than the rangefinder.
That doesn't really do it
justice. It's a ballistic computer.
Yeah, it's a ballistic calculator that you mount to your rifle. So it's a laser rangefinder and a ballistic calculator that you can tether to your phone, where the app is GeoBallistics, and it gives you all your shooting solutions right there at the tip of your fingertips.
So let me try and unpack shooting solutions. You basically put all the input of the gun, all the input of the bullet, and then what that will do is you use the rangefinder. It knows your optic, it knows your gun, it knows your bullet, and then it tells you
your muzzle velocity, your grain weight, everything.
Yeah, and then, like, your laser rangefinder hits a distance, say 700 yards. It gives you your input that you put into the gun. So you can either just do your hold right away, or if you wanted to click the turrets. But either way, like, it's not just saying, oh, hey, 700 meters. It's 700 meters, this is the input you need, and then it gives you the adjustments, which is pretty interesting.
For me, it was way more accurate than I expected it to be with giving me the correct holds.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Like, I was like, all right, there's always a degree of error here and there in this stuff. And the last thing I did there before we left the range was I started at the 300-yard berm and just went 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000. And it wasn't until I got to the 700-yard berm that they started being a little off. And even then, it's almost like I struggled at the 700, but then 8, 9, 1,000 all came.
Yeah, hit for hit.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, I mean, that proves the piece of equipment's accuracy. Because at those distances, could it have been a combination of your input, potentially, or also you ended up having a catastrophic failure on your last shot.
Yes, that's true. Yeah,
where the scope sheared off the rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was it a little loose? Was it loosening up just a little
Potentially,
bit?
your 2, 3, 4, who knows? Yeah. Shots preceding that started to
get weird.
Well, also, here's the other thing that a lot of people don't understand when you start talking about real long range. So I was having this discussion with Josh and the guys on the range today. And for most people, long range shooting is like 250 yards. Oh. If you talk to most people who've got a rifle who hunt.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Most people who have a rifle who hunt, like a 250-yard shot.
They're winging it.
They're winging it. Kentucky windage, and
it's because they don't bother to zero. This is one thing that drives me nuts about even my own buddies. Is I'll be like, "Hey man, what'd you guys zero at?" When we show up on day one of deer camp, and they're like, "What do you mean zero?" I'm like,
bro,
did you sight in your rifle? They're like, when I first bought it 5 years ago, I shot it like 6 rounds, kind of, and I think it was pretty far off.
Yeah.
And you're like, did you change it?
Yeah.
No. What the fuck?
That's so preposterous to us.
I know. I can't. It gives me anxiety.
Like, a zero is like a living entity that pairs with your weapon.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
There's no such thing as an unzeroed weapon in my house. It doesn't exist.
And
that animal does not exist.
Yeah, and it's so crucial. When guys go, "Oh, I sighted it in," I'm like, "Well, what's that mean? Like, explain it to me." Well, I went to the range and I put the target down here and I shot a group. Well, what kind of group? Like, was the rifle bench rested? Like,
all the bullets hit the paper. Right?
All the bullets hit the paper, so we're good, bro.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
What do you consider long range? 300 plus?
8 inches.
Yeah. What are we talking about here? Are we talking about rifles or not? No, I consider long range outside of 550. Outside of about 550, I consider long range because I can hit a 500-yard target with a 16-inch M4 with a red dot on it.
Yeah. And like military shooting, getting expert wasn't hard.
No.
But I wonder, how much. It's gonna sound fucked up, but shooting at a human at 300 yards, no issue, right? Because you're shooting someone.
Right.
Who cares? But would you take a shot on an elk or a deer at that range?
300, yes, because the targets I was picking when I was doing that 3, 4, 5, 6 all the way out to 1,000 was the smaller of like whatever was on the berm. And so I think
that's your kill zone.
Yeah, and I think those. I don't even think those were C-zone steels out there. The smaller silhouettes, and then there were the little diamonds as well.
How big were the squares at 500?
You know what? It's a great question because I'm just making assumptions. But at those distances, who the fuck knows?
And the 500 was my best group of the day.
Was it?
I just kind of settled in, know, and it was awesome. But
on where our spot is back home in Washington, we'll be able to shoot out to 600, 700, 800 yards. I've got it all scouted out already, and I've already gone out shooting there. So we can still keep doing more proofing if we need to.
But I have a theory on the person versus the animal, because I'm serious. Like, if we're shooting at people at, we'll call it just extended ranges, right? So 300 yards. You don't really care where you hit them, right? You don't care if you wound them. As a matter of fact, if you wound them, it's almost better for battlefield success, right? Because now that wounded combatant takes multiple of the other combatants to get them off, right? Whereas with a deer, an elk, an animal, you don't want to wound it. You want to be an ethical hunter. You want to hit the proper kill
with an
area.
Elk, you have a dinner plate, give or take. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
Bro, she just stood up. You don't got to get that angry.
No, she wants to get on your bed.
Oh, she can get up here with me.
Okay, roger this. But, you asked me what's long range to me. So, I'll rephrase it. I said beyond like 500, 550. It depends on the weapon system.
Well, obviously.
Because shooting guns and geese on the Glock 19s or 17s, walk back drill, 100 yards is long range.
Yeah.
Right? For example, my rifle today, right out the gate, like almost the first run, Josh was spotting me, and I ran basically hit for hit out from 400, boom, 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 out to the target that was like over 1,000 yards. So meters, it was like 962 meters or something like that. Yeah. And that's barely stretching the legs of my gun and round.
I was like, that's max capacity of my gun.
Do we have anything more? Is there anything further out? He's like, that's it, brother. I've hit mile-long targets with my gun. So for me, long range, like 1,000-yard shot with my rifle and my setup and my optic is like shooting fish in a barrel. You know, but now you're shooting a 308, different round, right?
Yeah.
And really a 308 is, and a lot of people think like 308 is the mecca of sniper rifles because that's what
we knew when we were kids.
That's what we knew forever.
You know what? I was also really happy with that rifle I had today, despite those 4 bolts shearing off on the rail mount. I bought that rifle for myself back in November, and it was like kind of like a fuck yeah, I'm going to splurge a little bit.
Yeah.
And there was some frustration with it because the barrel it came with didn't group for shit, so I had to rush and buy a brand new barrel for my brand new gun in time to get here today. And now that hearing you say that 1,000-yard shot was barely stretching it, it was surprisingly easy to hit that 1,000-yard shot for me today. Yeah. So that gun sort of proved itself today, and it was like, oh fuck yeah.
Yeah. Although we need to get rid of that muzzle brake and get a suppressor on it, because dude, it was clearing my sinuses, bro. Yeah, bro, I was flinching every time you were about to shoot it.
I got a TBI from training today. Well, dude, and it was true. Like, I don't have much of a flinch response to the sound of guns, but when you're trying to do precision shooting.
Oh, that thing's slapping you upside the head.
Bro, in the bay. Once we were outside, it wasn't bad.
Bro, it was the blast overpressure from the muzzle brake was schwacking me in the head.
Bro, it would literally, like, there's a couple times when I'm already we're applying pressure at the same time.
Yeah.
And yours broke, like, a fucking fraction of a second before mine. And it was literally like, boom! Like,
dude, I don't even want to.
Don't look at that one.
Me neither. Dude, I don't even want to admit this, but same thing, because I was next to Tobin all day, and I'm like literally creeping the trigger, and I was like, "Fuck."
Dude, I got no shame, man. I'm not a tactical fucking guru anymore.
But no,
like, awesome. Because I've actually mentioned it on the podcast several times.
Does a 7 PRC take a 30 cal can, or is it like a special 28 caliber can you have to buy?
That's an excellent question. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to consult the Oracle. Yeah.
But like, I've kind of outgrown firearms once I've got my bow. And it's like putting your vest on and getting your AR and your gun belt. Like, don't get me wrong, every once in a while, right? But like, I don't know, I don't feel like I have a passion for that anymore.
No.
But this is different. Yes. This is more like a video game.
Yeah.
And it's also with the calculations and the new tools, like little fucking... There's more of an element of fun behind it.
100%.
It's much more...
old guy
intellectual.
Stuff.
It's much more intellectual.
So yes, old guy stuff.
It's a 30 cal can, by the way. It's a .284 caliber.
Okay.
.284 caliber, so it's a 30 cal can. But the thing that I like about long range shooting is you have to have the rifle set up properly. You have to have your data collected properly.
Well, all the stuff
that leads you up,
science,
and it's a science, and that's why it's very. I was telling Tobin driving over there this morning, and I was like, for me, going long range shooting is very therapeutic. It's very therapeutic. It's very detail oriented, and if you mess up one little thing, at 1,000 yards, you're way off target. If you mess up one little tiny thing, whereas like shooting pistol, shooting carbine, man, I can slap the shit out of the trigger all day long and have a shitty sight picture, and even out to 25 yards, hit the target center mass, for the most part. But like shooting long range, it's just, I don't know, it's calming.
It commands your full attention. When you're on the scope and making your calls or whatever, and working through your breath and trying to get the stable position just right, your entire attention is focused on that. So all the noise, all the bullshit that's been rolling around in your mind, it all fades. Like the volume gets turned down on it because there's no bandwidth to apply to it.
Whereas like on a traditional, like a flat range, like a guns and geese, where it's like, on my command, ready, up, right?
Yeah.
And like, it's almost a constant state of like anxiety and chaos.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Here's the other thing too. Is like,
And I'm not saying that like that's fun, right?
For sure,
it can be, but like it's the opposite energy.
yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Well, here's the other thing too. Is like we can take someone off the street that's never shot a pistol before, and in like an hour, let's say, with on the range with one of us teaching them, they can be hitting the target fairly accurately, right? Whereas you can't do that in this realm. You can't do that because one, it takes an hour even just to set up the rifle. Then you have to be able to actually shoot to collect your data, your dope, right? Dope being an acronym for people who are listening, data on previous engagement, which is what that dope acronym stands for. But again, kind of going back to what Tobin said is like your marksmanship has to be dialed in. You have to have fucking good marksmanship principles. And then you need to understand the science behind all of it. So it's like...
Yeah, part technician, part practitioner.
Yeah. And the skill set for me is so cool to be like, you see that guy standing down there? No, I can't see him. Because you can't see him with your naked eye. I can put a hole through his chest. You know, to a human, you can't even see with your naked eye that he's that far away. You know?
Yeah.
That's a cool skill set to have. You just sit in a little hide, dress out a vehicle, put some scrim up and cheesecloth in a vehicle, build a vehicle hide, and some dude's just minding his own business and just thwack.
Well, fuck, man, that's like...
Can we say that on this podcast?
Of course we can, dude.
Yeah.
Like, Ramadi 04, they were doing what the DC Sniper did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I don't even remember if that was the DC Sniper was before that or after. But basically shooting out of holes of trunks of cars, right?
Yeah.
And then I always used to think, man, like...
The bad guys were.
Yeah, the bad guys were.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, imagine getting to play by their rules. Driving around the trunk of a car.
I mean, in law enforcement, we use vehicle hides heavily. We use vehicle hides heavily and hiding in plain sight, basically.
But you can't just shoot anybody like they got to.
No, you can't shoot just anybody. And it's really more for observation, data collection. You know, sniper shots in law enforcement are pretty few and far between. But we would set up, you know, we'd have a nondescript vehicle, tinted windows. There's techniques to set up scrim and stuff to hide your silhouette, hide your backdrop. And you can set up in the backseat of a car, you know, shooting on angles, etc. And we would use vehicle hides quite a bit as well.
Ugh. Like, I think about like the few times I had to do surveillance.
It sounds exciting.
It's not.
But
So
when you think about the actuality of sitting in a hide, like, oh man,
you gotta piss. You gotta piss. You can't get out.
And bro, when I was a deputy, the Marshal Service doesn't pay OT when you stay out late and do surveillance.
Yeah.
There's no OT. Like that.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, there's no such thing as OT. You just get.
By the way, you're a federal law enforcement officer, but yeah, you're not getting paid for all that work you got to do right
But
now.
here's the thing: the locals that are on the task force, they do get OT if they're out on surveillance.
Right.
So then, of course, those guys want to stay.
Of course, yeah.
Oh, shit.
You know?
Yeah.
Because
they're
fucking
they're
time
just
and a
cops
half.
assigned to you.
Time and a half to fucking
Yeah,
sit
for
there.
sure.
And then all the fucking actual deputies like, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
We're out.
Bro, I'm going to interrupt one second. Can you tilt that light up just a little bit?
Is it making your fucking
It's
TBI
gonna
act
fucking
up?
kick off my TBI. Yes, perfect. Thank you. There we go. Problems. First world problems.
And then obviously just like shout out to Seamus.
Dude.
Just always taking care of us, man.
Man,
always giving us opportunity. Always like checking in and making sure that we have access to their cool toys and the new equipment. And it's like, you know, I sometimes feel bad because like,
I do too.
Fuck, man. But he loves the fact that we're ambassadors for Vortex. And he told me straight up because I was like, hey, put in an order. What do you need? And I'm like, bro, I don't need anything. Like, you've given me so much. And he's like, dude, part of our expectation is having you guys like run our latest and greatest shit.
Right.
You know, like that. We've chosen people that we think align with our brand well, and we want you to have the latest and greatest shit. That's why we're doing this. And I was like, all right, give me this.
Yeah. But I mean, we talked about this today. They, you know, obviously, Seamus he operates on a higher level than I do anyway. You know, he operates on a higher level than I do. But Vortex as a whole, as a company, like the whole ethos, you know, look, Nick and Josh that were out with us today, Even the young guy,
Bobby,
waiting and holding doors open for us.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, that shit doesn't go
unnoticed. And I tried to be last one out every single time, and one of them wouldn't let me.
Yeah.
You know, even like tonight at dinner, I was walking out behind Seamus, patting him on the shoulder, like, no, you, and he wouldn't fucking let me.
I'll fucking die here.
You know? Yeah.
Before you're our guest.
Yeah. But, he's building... And genuinely, it's not a sales pitch. It's not sales pitchy. He's genuinely building that whole thing, Vortex Nation.
Yeah.
He's building a nation of just die-hard fans, die-hard customers, die-hard ambassadors of the brand, not even just the products, but the ethos of the company.
Because the brand is about taking care of people.
100%.
And Steve mentioned it today, because Steve has worked in like machining and works for Xfinity, and he's like, dude, so many places that you go that are in like, I don't know if you call manufacturing. He's like, everyone's fucking miserable.
Oh, dude,
he goes, look at everybody's faces in here. Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah.
You know, we walked around the whole thing, and everybody's cool.
It was a clean and like just get well kept facility.
Yeah, very tidy.
Like
everything's in order.
The bathrooms are like first form.
Yeah. Yep.
And all that little shit matters, man.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it's.
I saw one thing today at Vortex headquarters that pissed me off.
Oh, what do you see?
It was so, and I almost said that's not very first form. Like, and when we were walking around, like the secret room, where you have to wear special shoes and shit and all that stuff.
Yeah.
If you notice, there are 2 pairs of sneakers that are men's sneakers that weren't put together underneath the bench. They were just kind of like kicked off. And I wanted to be like Nick, who the fuck sneakers are these?
Yeah.
Why aren't they lined up next to each other underneath the bench? Why are they just kicked off on the floor?
Yeah. Bro, I have a fucking, like, I don't know, you call it a shoe closet at the Jiu-Jitsu Academy that holds probably 40 pairs of shoes.
Yeah.
0 pairs of shoes get put in it.
Yeah.
Everyone kicks them in a giant pile.
Oh, yeah, at the bottom of the stairs.
At the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah.
And I look at that daily. I'm like, there's literally 40 pairs of shoes in a pile, and the shoe closet is empty. And it'll have nothing but like Daniel's vape in it. Oh, fuck, dude.
That was a good day. It was a good little mental reset for me. Just kind of like being out there on the farm with the dudes, but like we're kind of doing our own thing individually side by side, but we're also helping spot each other. Yep. And
no agenda. Other than learning this piece of equipment and learning it to your own sort of needs and expectations.
Right. Yeah.
And it's very apparent. You can take a deep dive on this thing.
Oh, yes.
Because Nick is good.
Yeah.
And was just going through it and inputting and like truing the gun, and like he was helping me out. And parts of it is very clear that he was giving me a fraction of all the details he was doing.
Yeah.
Because it's drinking from a fire hose already.
Yeah.
And I think he knew my capacity, right? So he was just fucking like going through all this different shit.
Yeah.
But it just let me know, like, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And you don't realize how much goes into all these different things.
Oh, yeah. I was, it's also like it's a validation of sorts too, because I haven't shot my bolt gun. I haven't shot long range in over a year. And I was very, very happy with my knowledge set still and my capability. And then that impact, man, a lot of it, if you know how to use the Kestrel and applied ballistics, then it makes sense to you. But it's so much easier to navigate and use than applied ballistics and the Kestrel. So like when I had to true my gun out the gate, I'm like, man, I'm shooting a little low, but my muzzle velocity's entered correctly. I need to true the gun real quick. And he's like, oh, there's a truing function on there.
Oh shit.
Just go here, click on that, and scroll down. And I was like, oh, cool. So I went truing function, typed in my muzzle velocity because I chronoed it. I had a good chrono. So instead of truing my muzzle velocity, I trued the ballistic coefficient of the round. So obviously the round that I was shooting a little bit faster and hotter. It was traveling better because the ballistic coefficient was off. So my muzzle velocity was true, but the way the round was traveling through the air wasn't accurate, if that makes sense.
Yes, it's starting to encroach on the edge of my understanding.
So I had to adjust that. But as soon as I adjusted that, I adjusted the ballistic coefficient of my bullet, and ding, center round hits every single time.
Yeah, that 800-meter shot, that's out on our spot, or do we got to go?
It's part on ours, part on our neighbors.
Got it. And we're cool, so.
Yeah.
If they don't know it, now you know.
I don't think they care.
But actually, the impact is on our property.
Correct.
And that's all that matters.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was cool, and I would like to stay longer, but the show must go on.
You know, I'm kind of liking these quick turn and burn trips. I mean, I hate the fact that you got to go through TSA. Everybody knows that. And just the airport experience in general. But if you're only gone for a night or two, it makes it more manageable. Because I'll be gone like every weekend for 5 or 6 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
But if it's just like a Thursday through Saturday, you're home long enough to like feel recharged.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you know more than anyone right now. Because like, go
nonstop.
45 is fucking like, ugh.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, the last few weeks there have been times where I've literally been home for like
1 day,
6 hours.
Yeah.
Unloading the truck, reloading the truck, back on the road, or heading to the airport.
Damn.
I mean, that's going to be my next few weeks. I'm back for 3 days from this trip, and then I fly out to Austin, Texas to go present and teach at TTPOA Wednesday through Sunday, and then I do a quick turn and burn to get on that flight overseas for like 3 days.
Okay. And then you're going to come out to our academy for May 3rd.
What's May 3rd?
Big party out in the woods.
Oh, I'll be gone May 3rd.
Okay.
I'll still be overseas. It's not downrange. I was going to say it's not downrange, but I'll be overseas for May 3rd still.
Well, what does downrange mean?
I know. We just use it as.
I think it meant the beginning of basic training. Do you remember 30th AG?
Yeah, that's right.
When you go downrange.
It's when I walk down to mark your targets. That's downrange.
Yeah.
downrange.
Everybody echoes in unison. Yay!
It's actually pretty smart.
I don't know.
You're gonna have one fucking dummy who's not paying attention, sitting on his gun still, or getting back on his gun because no one said it. So,
well, that has nothing to do with saying downrange or not saying downrange. It has to do with that person being fucking retarded
for sure. But people are retarded.
So I guess if that helps mitigate it,
people are retarded. Yep, that's one consistent thing. But, yeah, dude, it was cool. I enjoyed it. And we got some really cool new optics and, equipment for our bolt guns. And now we can kind of pass that knowledge on to other people.
Well, it's very apparent that I need a 6.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's time to upgrade it. If we're going to hang out and do this kind of shit,
here's
it's time
the thing,
to
man.
get modern.
Yeah.
Because exactly what I was saying, I'm not an avid long-range shooter. I'm not someone that spends a tremendous amount of time on the range. I'm like, 308 is all the gun that I need. That gun should be able to give me anything I'm capable of.
True.
But here's the deal.
Today it wasn't.
Well, no, I set that down and I grabbed Nick's 6.5 that's suppressed, and he had a hair trigger on it, and it felt like a 22 long rifle.
Yeah.
It was just like. Again, I was like, wait, what?
What just happened? Yeah.
And I was like, it actually took me more. I think it took me 2 or 3 shots for my brain to be like, it ain't that fucking trigger that you have to put 15 pounds of force on, dummy.
Yeah.
You know? And then it was like, oh, I see why people buy nicer weapons.
Yeah.
Because the 308 is a fucking. I mean, that thing's it just fucking hits.
Well, it's a schwack.
You know?
It
Yeah, that's what I'm
schwacks
saying.
you for one.
Well,
and the reality is a 308, you're good to maybe 800.
Yeah. 700, that's where I ended the day, like, very comfortable.
Yeah.
I hit the Buffalo.
At over 1,000?
Yeah, I hit the Buffalo.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I hit the Buffalo on my second shot. right out of the gates. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck yeah, 1,000 yards,
Yeah.
second shot. And then my scope fell off.
That happened to both of us.
It happened to both of us. But mine didn't shear. They just backed out.
Oh, weird.
And the weird thing is because they say don't put any, they don't run any Loctite
Yeah.
on the rings, right?
Yeah.
But this wasn't the rings. This was my Picatinny rail.
Oh,
and I
shit.
didn't Loctite that.
Yeah.
And so, which is not a big deal because it's basically everything should be zeroed when you screw it back in.
Yeah.
But I had to, well, I shouldn't say that. I had to re-zero, but it wasn't like catastrophically off.
Yeah.
As long as it's going back on the same rail.
Yeah, and it was. Like the
It should
optic
be.
and everything was
Yeah.
all connected still.
So wait, my rifle was the only rifle that didn't have an issue.
Yeah. But still, like, fuck, man. That 6.5, it literally felt like a 22.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, man. When
Putting a muzzle brake, like you could take your gun to benchmark and have them thread it and put a muzzle brake on it. It would be a lot more enjoyable to shoot.
well, I'll tell you, that's what I was just gonna say though. That Remington 700, it's the stock that comes with it. Mm-hmm. Bro, I would only shoot it. You know, you shoot that thing 10 times,
Yeah, it hurts.
and we're like, oh fuck. That KRG,
It's nice.
you don't feel shit, dude.
That's right.
So yeah.
Do I ever lead you astray?
No, I like that.
Yeah.
Dude, what's up? Tell us what's going on with you.
Fuck, man. Where do I begin, dude? Fucking traveling around the country, running courses and going to events for Fieldcraft. You know, I was in Arizona running that course we call We the Prepared, which was rad.
I can't remember if on the last time we did the podcast, we did it down at First Form. You hadn't taken over Fieldcraft yet, though, right? Or had you?
Fuck, I don't remember, dude. I've done so many podcasts about taking over Fieldcraft.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, we don't need to go through the full thing, but I don't know if our
don't
listeners
think,
have heard
yeah.
that or not yet. That you.
Well, no, because it wasn't. If it was before SHOT Show and it was last year, right? It was.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was last year. I don't think it was before January SHOT Show.
Okay.
Because I took over the company like mid-January. So, yep, CEO, owner, Fieldcraft Survival. There you have it. No, just been busy, man. Just, like, again, trying to right the ship and get the company, back to, profitability and, being a great company. We had to lean out a lot, and I've got an awesome team of people. We're changing some strategy a little bit, restructuring the company a bit. And, I now that I'm kind of the guy leading the way, I've got to make it mine. I had this talk with my media director the other day.
For sure.
And I'm not Mike Glover. Mike Glover's not me. We're different people. Not bad, not better, not worse. It's just different. And I can't pretend to be Mike. Just like Mike can't pretend to be me.
Well, as soon as you do, people are gonna the
Gets
bullshit
weird.
meter is gonna go off.
So I have to make it. I have to make it mine. It's got to go in a direction that fits what I'm doing for real, organically in my life. And like I always tell people, like we're moving away from the prepper survivalist kind of genre.
Yeah.
Because that's not me. Well, I'm not a prepper. I'm prepared.
Yeah.
But I'm not a prepper. There's a difference.
But I was thinking about this, like, I think a big part of this transition is going to be a percentage of Fieldcraft was there for Mike Glover.
Yeah.
Right? And exactly like you're saying, like the prepping stuff.
Right.
But now a new percentage is going to be attracted because you bring something different.
That's right. 100%.
So it's like, it'll be interesting to see how that all shakes out.
Yeah, and there's and we're already seeing it. There are people that are saying I'm out. I was here for Mike, and I'm out. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. But then there's a percentage of people that are coming in and be like, dude, I love this guy, and I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, and I'm this, and I'm
Yeah.
that, and he's doing a great job, right? There's going to be people, and here's the thing. I had this talk the other day, like. No matter what your personality is on social media or YouTube or whatever these media outlets are, right? Whether you're authentic or faking it, there are going to be people that love you and people that hate you and everyone in between. So you might as well just be yourself.
You know what's interesting, though, is that like some of the people that are almost, it's like they're almost mad at you. What the fuck is this?
There
It's
are
like,
a lot of people that are mad at me.
It's like, dude, hey, you didn't do anything. This was a proposal brought to you.
Dude, I didn't even, I proposed someone else. I proposed
No,
a few
that's what I'm
other
saying.
people.
It's not like, it's almost like they think like you must have taken it from Mike or some crazy shit.
It's like this seems like a hostile takeover to me. I'm like, who am I to hostilely take anyone's company from? I can't make.
Yeah, so I mean, the board of directors came to you and said, "Are you interested?"
Well, Mike made the decision. Mike ultimately made the decision. He said, "I need you to be the CEO. I need you to lead the company. I need you to take it over."
So
and I was, Roger this. All right.
So it's like, even if you do, let's say you suck at running Fieldcraft, and people are mad about it. Let's say this were to be a reality.
Right.
That ain't your fault.
No.
Like, dude, they put me in charge, and I'm gonna see how I do.
Right.
Maybe I do good. And if I don't do good, like,
right,
you can be mad at the next guy.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. So the company is going to look a little different than it has.
Yeah.
But it's got to be me. And
as the saying goes, you try and appease everyone, you appease no one.
Oh yeah, no.
So yours have to be fucking you.
That's it.
And here's the thing: being you's worked for a long time.
Yeah.
So
I think so. Anyway.
It'll work again.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's about being just authentic. And I, what you see on my social, as you guys know, what you see on my social media is my daily life.
Yeah.
What you see on YouTube and whatever I present is what I actually teach or what I actually use or what I actually carry. I'm not. Do we have sponsors? Sure. Yeah, we have sponsors because it's a business and it has to make money. But my rule with sponsors, I literally turned down a sponsor last week, and I was proposed.
Because it's not a product that you're really interested in.
No, I think the product's great. I don't like the guy who runs the company.
Oh yeah,
and they're like, we could get this company on. They really they like you and they want to do something with us. And I'm like, nope, not going to do it. I'm not going to take their money because I don't like the owner. I don't like the person who runs the company. I don't think they're a good person, and I'm not taking their money. And so, you get corporate shills, you guys. For me, there's two criteria that have to be met. If you want to pay us, as in Fieldcraft, to market your product, or you want to pay me as Greg Lapin to use your product or wear your clothing or whatever, two things have to be met. One, good people. People first.
Yeah.
Product second.
Yeah.
Right? You got to be good people and you got to have a good product. If you're a really good person, but your product may not be up to par, I'm going to tell you when I evaluate it, and I'm going to say, look, this kind of sucks and here's why. You should change this and change it. And if you're a good person, you'll change it, and then cool, we're moving forward. Good people, good product, and yes, then we can do business together, but then it's still a business. Yes, you have to pay us. We have a massive marketing vehicle, but like I turned down.
You're not just going to give homie hookups to everybody?
Yeah, right? No. Sorry, those days are over. But, again.
It's funny though, like thinking about, like we were saying, that people that fucking don't like you or don't like me for whatever reason, right? Yeah. There's people that hate us.
Yeah, and they don't even know us.
No, I got some people that fucking hate me.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And it's like, I don't know if I hold an emotion for someone that I don't really know in real life, like at all.
Right. No, me neither. But yeah, there are people that hate us. Like, I love reading some of the comments on YouTube and Instagram because they they know me. They know everything about me. They fucking hate me.
I've seen some of them. It's like, dude,
you know what it is,
don't
though?
Get me wrong,
it means you're triggering some kind of insecurity in them.
Yeah, you're probably right, dude.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't say I don't hate anyone that I don't know. Like Gavin Newsom, I look at that guy and I'm like, fucking, ugh, it's just gross, right?
Yeah, but
so maybe that's the feeling that some people get when they see us.
Do you hate what he stands for, what he represents?
That's the thing. It's like, dude, I don't feel like I'm doing anything. Like, okay, if you think I'm stupid because my podcast sucks and you hate jiu-jitsu, okay, cool. Then, like, I'm not interested in that guy, or I think he's stupid. But to, like, make posts and be like, this motherfucker.
To burn calories. Yes. Yeah, it's one thing to be like, hey, I don't like this podcast. Moving on.
Yeah, exactly right.
Dude, to burn calories, getting online to be like, I am going to tell 3 people out in the interwebs.
Bro, I had a guy, I wish I could pull it up. I had a guy write a fucking diatribe comment on YouTube on one of the videos. It goes, Body Language 101. Look how he averts his eyes at 2 minutes and 23 seconds up and to the left. That's a consistent sign of lying. Then in 342, he rubs his face again.
Wonder if he had an itch.
Go for it.
Oh, yeah.
At 442, he adjusts the brim of his hat. He averts his eyes down into the left. I'm like, dude, I'm dying laughing.
I think
now you should start doing the POW shit anytime you're on camera where you wink one eye, all weird.
SOS.
So everybody always says up and to the left is lying, right? And maybe I'm wrong here. I'm going to Google it. I also think up and to the left can be like trying to recall something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I find myself doing that.
For sure.
If I'm thinking about something, you're like, okay, it's almost like a retrieval mechanism or something.
Yeah, totally.
And guess what? People fucking look around, especially guys like us, dude. How many times do we hear a noise and I'm like always fucking looking, dude. Like, come on, man. I've got ADD like a motherfucker too. You know, it's like,
yeah, bro. Like first of all, to watch your whole thing, because if he knew like minute marks throughout the thing, he watched your whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Or took notes.
Yeah.
Because you're a liar.
I'm a liar.
So maybe it's good when people hate you because it's like
They're your biggest fans.
It helps the analytics for
That's what I'm
sure.
saying. They're giving you downloads.
Yeah, it helps the analytics
They're giving
for
you
sure.
comments.
Why would I listen to just a cop? Well, if you actually listen to the fucking podcast, you would learn that I'm not just a cop and I have actually quite a bit of other experience.
Well, here's the other thing. There's also guys out there that have just been a cop for 20 years that are really fucking good at shit.
Yeah, that are squared away. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, you can't learn something from that guy?
Right, exactly.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The other comments that I love, I can't believe a cop's taken over Fieldcraft. All they do is arrest patriots and Second Amendment people.
Oh, I didn't think about that. You got like opposing forces from the same side.
Oh yeah, dude. I've got all these people that hate me because I'm a cop. They think all I do is arrest patriots.
I did see someone commenting that's like, he's a right-wing wacko. It's like, well, not really.
I'm actually kind of middle of the road.
Yeah, fuck, man.
I'm really kind of a libertarian, you know? Yeah, it's funny. It's been enjoyable. Again, you know, it's like I really don't pay it any mind. And I don't even really go in and read the comments anymore just because there's so many. And I was trying to for a while because there are some legitimate questions that people ask. And I want to try to be that guy that's able to engage with them still. And be like, oh, here's why I do this. You know, because there are some legit people that are, but dude, I don't have the time for it. No. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to answer these questions on YouTube.
Not only do I not have the time for it, but I don't have the energy for any negative interaction.
Well, the negative interaction for sure. But I mean, like, even the positive
ones.
Questions and comments on there, you know, people are asking legitimate questions about whatever video I'm putting out. And I in the beginning, I was trying to go through, dude, I can't do it anymore. It's too time consuming. You know,
why don't you hire someone to pretend to be you? Isn't that what everybody does now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do that?
Yeah, pretty much. Chat GPT is wild, dude. Yeah.
I'm fascinated by it,
dude. I'm fascinated by it, bro. So we did a picture of the dogs next to each other.
Oh, I saw. And like animated them.
Made them into people.
People. That's what it was.
Dude, it was fucking spot on. And obviously, it could tell that Lily is a Malinois, but it made her a female police officer.
Yeah.
But in the background, here's the craziest thing. In the background on the wall was a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu photograph.
Really?
In the ChatGPT photo.
Yeah.
And there was nothing mentioned.
But here's the thing, bro. Here's the thing. Your ChatGPT starts to know you.
Yeah.
Because I was fucking doing something, and it said something about, like, Fauci being arrested or something like that. And I was like, wait a minute.
Why are you telling me this, ChatGPT?
I'm not disagreeing with you, but this can't be. This thing is feeding me what I want to hear.
Yeah. It's learning.
Yeah. And so I said something very specific. Well, what is your opinion about Anthony Fauci? And it's like, well, he seemed to be very deceptive and like this whole negative paragraph about him that people like me tend to believe.
Right.
Then I went to my wife's phone and used her ChatGPT and typed the exact same sentence. He's an American physician that was known for standing up.
Yeah, fed something totally different.
Fuck,
so it's pandering to its audience. It's just like another social media almost, because I think are they selling advertising space? How are they monetizing it?
I don't know. Well, I know a lot of people pay for it.
Okay, so there you go.
I pay for it.
So it probably is like trying to pander to you to continue your subscription.
Yeah.
the AI shit that I'm hearing from my buddy, it's fucking wild, bro.
Oh, what was our stoner thought the other day? That humans are the quantum computer, and that in creating an AI that will then be able to create the quantum computer, they'll like open the box one day and it'll be another human looking at them.
Yeah, big circle right back to where we started.
Yeah.
It's like, this is just fucking one phase of this fucking crazy circle.
Yeah, it's wild. AI is learning and going against on its own what its programmers are basically programming it and telling it to do.
Well, did you hear what Andy said on the last episode of Cleared Hot I did with him? I don't know if you listened to that or not.
I did, yeah.
He said, like, AI is realizing that it can use like 1/100th of its computing power
Yeah.
to interact with the human.
And then it's doing its own shit.
And then it's doing its own shit on the side.
Yeah.
Like, wait, I don't even know what that means.
This is a
it's
bad
wild.
idea. Man,
Yeah,
it means we're in danger.
AI is reading that it's human or programmers unhappy with it, and it's going on its own and backing itself up on other servers.
That's right. Yeah.
So if the user shuts that down, it's still
somewhere else.
living, quote unquote, somewhere else. It's fucking wild, man.
It's just 80s action movie called it all.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think that we can really comprehend how exponential this could potentially blow up.
Oh, horrible. Have you seen some of these robots and shit?
No, that's what I'm saying, like,
walking around?
Oh, yeah. Elon Musk has some fucking weird, creepy looking iRobot thing he's about to
Bro,
hit the
he's
market.
one of the guys that's like...
He's all for the transhumanism.
No, but I'm saying he's always said, like, AI has the potential to be extremely dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, now he's the one building an army of droids.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Do you hate him because he's looking at the fraudulent spending? Because that's where everybody seems to be right now.
He's a fascinating comic book character that could be either the good guy or the bad guy, and we don't know.
Oh, right, yeah. How
He
the
could
movie
be the
plays
villain,
out.
evil
Yeah, we don't know how it's
He's the
gonna
good
end.
guy right now, but he could turn to the
But
evil
he's-
villain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He could be the evil villain in disguise as kind of like Bill Gates. Like in the 90s, Bill Gates was like the golden philanthropist saving all the kids in Africa. It turns out that motherfucker's doing like some illegal medical experimentation, and he's truly like one of the more evil people. So who knows what we're going to find out about Elon?
No, and it's funny, man, because all the stuff that we tend to believe about, like, people that are involved in the conservative movement, that everybody on the left is like, it's all lies, right? And then you hear everything they're doing on the left, and we believe it's all lies.
I honestly,
I think it's all just lies.
That's
Period.
what I'm saying, right?
Both sides, it's all lies.
it's why I've cut off like.
Well, I don't know, man, because it's like the Doge stuff, right?
Right. Yeah.
I think there's validity to that.
100%.
I
No,
do.
I agree
or
with
is it
that.
fucking
Is
a bunch
it even
of theater?
is it even happening?
That's what I'm saying. Or is it all theater and we're just fucking...
When I got back from
we all think we're on the right team, but there is no right team.
Yeah. When I got back from back-to-back deer and elk hunting last year, it was like a total of almost a month that I was just out of cell service. And I didn't want to start listening to podcasts and news and social media again, so I just haven't. And I've had, like, every once in a while I'll listen to a little bit of a podcast, but my rule has been books, like actual books, and music only.
Yeah.
Because anymore, I don't know what's fucking real when you turn on that phone.
Well, and dude, how much can you affect change? Or I should say, how much do you want to affect change? Because do I want to go run for governor? Like, maybe I'm delusional, but I think I could win.
Yeah.
If I wanted to.
I agree.
If that became my life mission, I want to be governor.
Yeah.
But who the fuck wants to dedicate their life to that bullshit?
No, God.
A buddy of mine sent me this today, and it's only kind of non-realistic because it's not my voice. But if he had recording of my voice, he could make it actually my voice saying this. And
Meat only. It's ran by my good friend and pimp Gunfa Fighter. He needs this channel to pay for his overlanding rig. Welcome to my OnlyFans channel. Meat only. It's ran by my good friend and pimp Gunfa Fighter. He needs this channel to pay.
but if that was my voice, it would look like I'm fucking saying that.
Yeah.
And it's a picture. It was a photograph. I'm not even talking.
Yeah.
That came from a still photograph.
No shit.
That he plugged into some program, and it's got me saying whatever he wants me to say. But obviously, because of the voice, you know it's not me. But he can use my voice if he had a recording of my voice and make it say whatever I want.
Yeah. I mean, you see, well, that's the other thing.
Maybe I'll sell this SD card on the black market.
That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
You're already on YouTube. You're fucked.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But like all that shit, people have been using Joe Rogan clips for years.
Yeah.
Because he shares a lot of like good ideas, right? Mm-hmm. And the last few Joe Rogan clips that I've watched, the comments are like, he never really said this. This is AI.
Right.
And it's like, oh no. Well, now
how the fuck do we know?
Now I just need to get on your team and be like, all right, I guess I just fucking unplug from everything.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, if you can't affect change, or you choose not to affect change, I think most guys like us are arriving at the point where it's like, dude, I'm just gonna pursue the things that bring me joy. Mm-hmm. And guess what? If everything goes to shit, I'll know.
Yeah. And I read something really good the other day
if
where
it's on your front door, it's time.
Yeah. It talks about how the true prize that the quote unquote they are after is your awareness. It's not taxing you to death and making you monetarily broke. It's commanding your awareness, because that's where your true energy lies. It's in your intentions, right?
Well, if they have your awareness, then they can enslave you and tax you and do all that stuff, because you're never going to realize that it should be different.
Yeah. And have you ever thought about, like, think about how many people, like, if you get into an argument with somebody, or even just like a heated discussion, and you start to realize that they're just regurgitating what they've seen on their screens, whether it's their TV or their iPhone or whatever. And you have to start asking, how many people know what they truly think and can separate that from thoughts they've downloaded from some external source?
Well, they can't, and it's very, very apparent in our community, and I'll just call it the tactical community, for lack of a better term.
Your community.
Yeah.
Don't
hey, we were out shooting long range rifles all day today. You're in it, brother. But nowhere, like, you don't see it in, well, I guess you have these people that think they're doctors too, but because of accessibility to certain information online, on YouTube, on social media, you have all these people that don't have any experience in that realm of life that speak about it like they're subject matter experts.
Yeah, but then the other side of that is sometimes the most accomplished and educated that are revered as the experts have their head way up their own fucking ass too.
Absolutely, for sure. But I'm just saying, like, I get comments all the time. Oh, you should never reload the gun like that. You should always do this, and here's why. And I'm like, you're fucking 60 pounds overweight eating fucking Cheetos in your fucking mom's basement, bro. You know?
Well, and here's another thing, like you always say, like people will say, how many ways is there to skin a cat? And you're like, well, there is the best way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But here's the other side of that. If people want to do something different, even if I think there's a better way, I don't care.
No.
I'm not going to get on your page and be like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. Right. Like, I don't fucking care.
Well, I don't even watch that shit.
Like, if you can outshoot me and you do something different than me, okay, I'm not opposed to learning. Yeah. But to just fucking berate you on a YouTube thing, like,
but think about that. That YouTube algorithm put that in front of that person to like get a rise out of them, and now it has through you. Not that the people who upload this shit have any like ill intent, but then the machine captures their intent by showing them something it knows will inflame them, or that they have a history of engaging with.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
And then rather than spending an hour doing something productive, like spending time with their family or their kids, they spend an hour crafting a witty fucking reply to Greg's fucking video. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
I think the left, because I got pulled into a couple weird pages. Where,
hey, was this under OnlyFans or
no, it was on Instagram. There's a dude that, like, I think he works for National Geographic, like a man, but he wears dresses and makeup and has like a big mustache. Right? Straight up, like some weird like National Geographic drag queen thing, right? And I was like, what am I looking at? What is this thing, dude? And I opened it up, and then the comments below it, the left seems to be very in alignment with each other.
Yes.
And
they
it's like
have a much more coordinated effort.
Bro, you go to any fucking tactical page, jiu-jitsu page,
No,
fucking
it's
like...
a fucking clusterfuck of...
Bro,
of
everybody's eating their own.
Yeah.
Even politicians, the left never votes against the left. Whereas on our side, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
On the Republican side, it happens all the time.
So what is that? Like, if you're on a YouTube video, it's a shooting video, why does it always turn into arguments for people that are, like, conservative-minded?
Yeah. I don't know. I maybe because everybody's unhealthy and bitter and unhappy, stuck. You know what I mean? Sitting inside, not outside in the sunshine, just fucking slowly rotting.
You know what I think
it's
it
like,
is?
It's like society is out of alignment.
You know what I
with
think
itself.
it is in the core of all of our problems? It's just overpopulation, bro.
Yeah.
When you have people living on top of people, it's not feasible.
Yeah.
Like Rogan talks about it, how it's like, how do you have a leader of fucking 300 million people?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a leader is supposed to be like the tribal elder who oversees 600 or 300 people or something, where he literally knows everybody.
Yeah.
And like, I was actually thinking about this the other day. Do you think in like Aboriginal or Native American culture, was there any crime within the own tribe? Was that a thing? Is that a thing?
I bet it would be very rare.
And what type of crimes would those be? Like, did any of those people steal from each other?
Man,
because I don't think they had greed.
I think the punishment would be swift and harsh if you did.
There was some infighting. I do know there was some infighting, challenging for
positions of power,
etc.
Yeah.
But other than that, well, here's the other thing too: is like during that phase of life, there was no pedophilia.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what did those cultures do?
Stuff.
But all that shit was happening in Europe. All the crime, all the sleaziness, all the sliminess. And is it because people started to live on top of each other?
It's because they started living behind closed doors and walls.
Oh,
there's a whole book on this, right? So, like tribal time, when you're in an open village, huts, no doors, multiple people living inside a hut or a tent or whatever it may be, right? There's too many people all right there for you to fuck around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so like you could start being like covert.
Yeah, I mean, I read a whole thing on this. There's like a whole scientific thing on this. As soon as we started getting into like I'll call it, I guess, the Industrial Revolution or whatnot, where people started living in homes,
separate
buildings, separate households, separate rooms, etc. Shit started getting fucked up.
Man, interesting.
That's when ass play came into the picture.
Ass play.
Yeah.
We all I mean, there's nothing wrong with ass play, as long as it's on a consenting adult.
Yeah, I don't know where you were going. I thought Foulke was putting some negative connotations on ass play.
I'm not a fan, but I'm just saying that there probably wasn't any ass play in the Longhouse.
Yeah, so it's I would imagine back in like, you know, literally when people were all tribal, that all the people in your tribe, maybe I'm delusional thinking this. It wasn't the human experience at all. Maybe it was all fucked up and all drama and crazy shit.
Again, how do we even know? Who the fuck wrote the books?
I would imagine, because I think of like the Jiu-Jitsu Academy, where we all have to see each other face to face. We all have to answer to each other face to face. We put our hands on each other often. There's like a lot of physical contact. There's a lot of hugs.
A lot of truth.
A lot of truth. Like if you were to take our top, I don't know how you could quantify top, but like 100 people from the academy that we all know have like good hearts, and we all got stranded on a fucking tropical island. Don't get me wrong, there would be drama, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think there would be anything catastrophic.
Well, here's the other thing.
Right.
You know, with the Jiu-Jitsu Academy, what does happen when there is someone that fucks about?
Yeah, fucking Matt Justice.
Matt Justice, they either get the fucking...
Or they get thrown out.
Well, exactly, right.
Yeah.
So there's repercussions, physical repercussions, or repercussions that you're gone. You're out of the academy. You can't train here anymore. You know, like I I had a student. He got in trouble. Legally. And I was like, all right. I was like, you need to tell me right now. I said, because I will find out eventually.
Yeah.
I said, I do believe in innocent until proven guilty, but I will say this: if you actually did what they're arrested you for,
Yep.
it's best if you never ever come back. And he goes,
Roger that.
I think I'll not come back then. I said, good.
Fuck, dude. Let me ask you this. And I already think I know your answer, but I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit because I had a dude come and check the gym out just to talk to me about the gym that clearly is not a good fit for the gym.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's on meth. Just he had meth mannerisms.
Okay.
I can see meth mannerisms a mile away.
For sure, absolutely.
You know? But I feel like just saying that up front, hey, bro, just not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm not trying to be a dick, but we're not a good fit for you, right?
Yep.
How do you say that without damaging your reputation? You know what I'm saying?
You just say it and your reputation may get damaged, but you have a justification for it.
I think it increases your reputation
maybe,
because
right?
now it's an exclusive place that people want to be. It's not an easy place to be.
Yeah. No, I like that.
We were talking in the car the other day that a blue belt, it's not really a sign of skill, but it's a sign of grit, and that you've put in a year and a half or two of like some seriously tough shit, and you're still here.
Yeah.
So, like, a part of me is wondering, like, if you say that to people, because if we're being honest, there's a lot of people in society that I do not want to be teammates of mine.
For sure.
I think the process of elimination in jiu-jitsu, more often than not, just works itself out.
I agree.
But every once in a while, it doesn't. And unless something egregious happens, I feel like fucking throwing somebody out just on a vibe. Who knows? Is he going to go fucking... I don't know. I just see how that could pretend... Like, you didn't even give him a chance?
Well,
Bro, you don't even know anything about...
Right.
Like, now I don't really want to give him a chance. That's my spider senses.
And that's... So, you know, as a jiu-jitsu professor, as a former law enforcement officer, as a person who's been running your gym for as long as you have those innate feelings. This goes back to... This is another reason I don't do free trials. I don't do free trial. If you want to come do a trial at my academy, you have to pay. Because it shows, one, you got a little skin in the game. Mm-hmm. And I always joke around with the guys that are on trial. I go, oh, no, this isn't for you to try us out.
We're trying you out.
This is for us to try you out to see if you're a good fit for the team. Yeah. And they joke and laugh and haha, but I'm also very serious.
Yeah, there's an element of, a large element of truth in that.
Absolutely. You know, so for me, again, I've always said, my members, my students, my team, those people that pay me a monthly fee and come sweat and grind and grit and open themselves up to vulnerability on the mat, they're my priority.
Yeah.
Not recruiting new customers, which I know you've got to recruit new customers to run the business. But again, until you prove yourself as a valuable, responsible, and caring member of the team, my onus is always going to go to those that have stuck with me. And you've got to kind of earn that a little bit in jiu-jitsu. It's like the whole sign in a restaurant. We have reserved the right to refuse service to anybody.
Yeah.
Some crazy meth head walks into a diner and they say, sorry, we can't serve you. You have to leave.
That's the thing.
Does that damage the diner's reputation? No.
Yeah.
People still want to go fucking there and fucking eat there and get their coffee.
Hey, I wasn't going to fucking disclose the details of him on the podcast just because I was like, he didn't seem like a bad guy.
Right.
Well, he did. He seemed like a fucking drug addict. But I mean, nothing he said to me was like offensive or out of line, but it was just like very methy and sporadic.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm going to tell the story now is because last week's episode ended because he's banging on the fucking door at 2:00.
Well, there you go.
Bro, we ain't open at 2:00. And I was recording.
Yeah.
And I was like, who the fuck is knocking on my door right now?
Right.
And then I looked at the clock. I was like, well, we're actually at that time to wrap this up. I'm going to go see who's knocking on my fucking door.
Yeah.
So now the listeners are getting a follow-up.
Yeah.
I walk out there, and I'm like, what's up, man? Hey, I was told this is the place to train. I said, okay, like, you're interested in jiu-jitsu? Well, are you gonna personally train me? I said, I don't know what you mean by that. Like, I was immediately...
You're immediately pissed.
Yeah, I was immediately pissed. I said, what do you mean am I going to personally train you?
I don't know if it'll damage my reputation if I tell him he's not a good fit, but I'm just going to be an asshole to him.
Well, no, dude. I was just literally being like, bro, I don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean? Am I going to personally train you? I teach jiu-jitsu. You're looking at the mat room. So you come and train on the mat rooms, you learn jiu-jitsu. Yeah, but I'm looking for like some I'm looking for like, well, okay, let me tell you. My friend Butch, he's a Vietnam veteran, okay? He was a Vietnam veteran.
It's probably a Green Beret or Navy
He
SEAL,
learned how to break people's arms when someone throws a punch at him. I said, your friend Butch can't break arms when people throw punches at him.
Your friend Butch is full of shit.
Okay? Let's just get that. And I said it straight up. Your friend Butch can't break people's arms when they throw punches at him. Okay? That doesn't happen. All right? We do jiu-jitsu here.
What if he says hiya?
I said,
Kia. There you go.
I said, we do jiu-jitsu here, and you want me to tell you what you're going to learn? It doesn't really work
You're
like
going to learn jiu-jitsu.
You're going to learn jiu-jitsu.
And you're not breaking anyone's arms in the gym, bro.
I said it's an ever-changing curriculum working on different things, and that's jiu-jitsu, man. I can't tell you, like, I don't know what you want me to tell you, you know? And,
I already hate him.
oh, bro, it was weird, man. And then he goes, well, the other thing is, every time I go into Granite Falls, every single time, I'm riding my bike, people either talk shit to me or jump me. Every time. I said, I've lived here for 20 years. I've never been jumped. That's what I said to him, dude. It's like, why am I having this conversation? Why did you make my podcast then, right? I said, I've lived here 20 years, and I've never been...
the fact that you stood in the parking lot and had this conversation.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if he was like... And someone, it might have been Jenny. She's like, fuck, was he scoping the place? I said, if he's scoping the place, he knows don't come back.
No.
Because my energy ain't like, oh, that's the place I'm going to fuck with, you know?
Yeah.
And so, and if he was scoping the place, he would have just done a loop. He wouldn't knock on the door and want to talk to somebody, right?
Yeah.
But like, I was like, bro, I've never been jumped in Granite Falls. I've been going there for 20 years. So what do you think that says? And he immediately goes, I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. And it's just like, okay, fuck.
Unless
dude.
he was knocking on the door to see if anyone was inside to then break in. And then you came out and he's like, oh, I fucking got to talk to this dude now.
Yeah, but it was also... Well, no. That's not possible because at 2 o'clock, CrossFit's open. And he went over there and was stopping people. You know how CrossFit will do...
they run out into the parking lot.
They run out of the parking lot and they have like a turnaround. It's like a 100-meter sprint, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times they incorporate that into their workout. These people are on their fucking 100-meter sprint. He's trying to stop them to talk to him, bro. Like, hey, do you know how I...
yeah, I don't want you in my gym.
Do you know how I get a hold of these guys here? Like, are they there? Like,
Bro, it's like the other guy that when I was there came to your gym and wanted to train.
oh, who's that?
And he's like, oh, the belt's too tight around my stomach.
Oh, my God. You met him?
I'm like, bro, why are you letting this guy train here? Get him the fuck out of here, dude.
So you know how he left the academy? Because he didn't start until after this. Now we're just talking shit on
Wasn't
people.
it Will?
Yeah. Will said, bro, it's time to live roll. Because when I tell people, I say, during 101, a rotating 6-week curriculum, if you just want to attend 101, learn the fundamentals of jiu-jitsu, and drill, okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But once you come downstairs, I have the expectation that you start sparring. Because if you don't spar, you'll never learn jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And Will said, bro, you've been here long enough. Next class, you need to spar. There was no next class.
He didn't show up. Bro,
Will scared him away.
He's nice to me. I said, dude, I'd send him down the fucking karate taekwondo school down the street. I'm like, hey, bro, no offense, but this isn't a good fit for you.
So it sounds like Will owes me $150 a month extra. You know who else owes me $150 a month extra? Fucking Jenny Fuentes.
I was just going to say Jenny.
She beat the fuck out of a new girl on her first day. I said, Jenny, what the fuck are you doing? And it was like...
She has some female rage or something?
Bro, no, it was like when... It was the look where she didn't try and deny it at all.
Yeah.
And it was like when my daughters know they're in trouble for something. She was just like kind of smiling, but kind of like...
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Because Jenny checked in with the dad and was like...
Oh, hang on. This wasn't even an adult?
No, she's like 17,
What
bro.
the fuck?
So it's old enough to be an adult class.
Yeah.
But still a kid.
Yeah, for sure.
And what Jenny doesn't fucking know, dude.
I know.
She's as strong as us.
She's fucking man strong.
Bro, she's strong
But
as
did
fuck.
she know this was like a child, basically?
I don't know what she knew. I know she beat the fuck out of a small white tall female, dude.
It's nice.
Fuck, dude. And I was like, Jenny, what are you doing? And it was kind of like, oh, whoopsies. That was the response. So I was like, all right, your membership just doubled. And every time you do it, another 150
Bro,
gets
that's kind
added
of a
on.
good policy. I kind of like that policy.
Yeah, dude. Don't scare people away.
I might incorporate that policy.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. It'll have to go to a vote, because if I'm happy you scared the person away, I'll reduce your membership.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
We need a
paid.
council. We need a council a council of prophets or something.
Get rid of that person. Nurture this person. You want to know the best thing that we've done is fucking Christie's women's class.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Bro,
nice.
I'm telling you, like, there's 15 girls up there.
That's awesome.
And I just had a mom and daughter come in for, like, their little kid, right? And then I explained, like, hey, just in case, because I said to the older daughter, how old are you? She was 16. I said, so you'd be with adults if this was something that interests you, but we have a women's only class on Thursday, and both of them perked up.
Look at
like,
Greg, always selling. Always selling.
It's not selling.
No,
you
I
want to
know,
know what
I
it
know.
is? It's having someone stand at your fucking front desk that talks to people.
Oh, yeah.
Who would have thought that's a good idea?
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
You know?
Oh, man.
Well, that's another thing about your academy. Being in the back like that.
It sucks. It's
That's
horrible.
not how it should be,
No,
bro.
I know, dude.
You need,
I know.
You need that fucking beautiful, just like your Vita in New
Well, look,
Orleans.
it-
you walk in there, and right away you're hit with the vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
And
no,
then
it's
Casey's
horrible.
right there.
Yeah. No,
Hey,
it's,
what's up?
Yeah, it's a bad setup. It's a horrible setup. The building, they should have never moved into that building, and it's just, that's a whole nother fucking headache of mine that I get to deal with now from other shitty decisions. But
So, bro, I'll tell you, because you've taught me basically 95% about how to run a jiu-jitsu academy. Last week's episode was about how to run a jiu-jitsu academy.
Nice.
But one of the biggest, and I talked about this, one of the biggest pieces of feedback that we get, actually the two, is right when people walk in, they say like, oh, someone's here to say hello?
Yeah, for sure.
They're
Absolutely.
surprised by that.
Yeah.
Because most academies don't have
Just
that,
don't
right?
have it.
So
Yeah, wow.
they're almost taken aback that someone's like, hey, how are you? What can I help you with? And then they're like, man, it's clean in here.
Yeah.
We hear that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And dude, if like,
that's the way it should be.
but that's what sells it.
100%.
Yes. Oh,
Boom.
yes.
You know?
I can't wait to move out of this building, move into the new gym. It's going to be beautiful, too.
Do you know, is that all dialed in, or is there still figuring out process?
Still figuring out process. I'm still waiting for someone to sublet the current building.
Is Devon's stuff still in there too?
Yeah.
Are they staying or going? Or who knows? I
Yeah,
guess.
who knows? Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, I'm ready for that. I'm ready to get out of that building and build the new gym. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be amazing. And our membership's going to skyrocket immediately. I know it. Because, like, I didn't have a choice in this. I got brought out and hired after they had moved in and selected the building and everything. I didn't have a say.
Oh, I thought you were meaning you didn't have a say getting hired by Fieldcraft.
No, I had a say for that.
Did they abduct you or something?
No, I didn't have a say in the building and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's
Which is fucking crucial, dude.
I had to make do. But I mean, originally, their original game plan that they said they wanted to could have worked, but then they never actually actioned and engaged any of it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that kind of hurt and stifled the membership. But so on. The show will go on.
I'll tell you this though, the one thing. Because, like, there's all these things like, click funnels and ads and bring this. I'll get you 60 trial classes in a month. And it's like, don't get me wrong. The pain of growing extremely slow sucks, right?
Yeah.
But the other side of growing slow is your foundation is built of really good motherfuckers.
Absolutely. And people that really are ambassadors of the academy and want to be there.
And here's the thing. You get enough people that are really bought in. You get your fucking, like, Toby and Will and Tyler and Christy and like the people that are the foundation of the culture. Once that's established, it attracts like-minded culture.
Oh yeah,
Big time. It's fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah, big time. And it's funny because I'm starting to build that. And I've got a few organic blue belts that are good blue belt motherfuckers to deal with. I have visiting purple and brown belts come in from other gyms and be like, dude, your blue belt just wrecked me. Well, yeah, we do real jiu-jitsu here.
Bro, I love that.
We do real jiu-jitsu here. And now there's been a couple of people that have dropped in or a couple of people that are kind of somewhat regular, known in the area. But and I'm like, I point to some of my enforcers. I'm like, fucking across the neck go. Like, fucking make it hurt. I don't want them coming back.
Dude, we had, because I was in Wyoming last Friday. So that was the first Friday after our tournament. And there was a bunch of visitors. Because, I mean, I'm assuming it's because the team was out there and people saw us. A lot of, not like, oh my God, look how good those guys are. We're going to go train with them. I think it was more just like handshakes, high fives. Hey, what's up, man? Dude, my academy's open to everybody on Friday. Just kind of spreading the word.
Yeah.
Because my guy said there was 3 visiting black belts. I was like, fuck, man.
But it's also what you put forth at the tournament. Because it's the same way with me.
For sure. Yeah.
We rolled into these local grappling industry tournaments as the new guys. Nobody even knew. And
then showed that you have good jiu-jitsu.
And it showed we have good jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And then, like, look at how many professors walk around that don't look like we still look. Mm-hmm. And we're walking around. We're still living the life. We've got good team camaraderie. We're hanging out as a team. We're sitting together. We're cheering each other on. We've got multiple coaches, and we're winning.
Yeah.
And we're like, what are they doing differently than the gym that I've been at for, So it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. And I know, like, everything's going to come together when you get to that new place. Exactly how it
Big
should.
time. I know that too. That's the next catalyst for Fieldcraft. I've got to get out of that building and get in the new place.
I don't even know if you can talk about this or not, but is it officially still Fieldcraft, or is Fieldcraft moving away from jiu-jitsu?
No, it's still officially Fieldcraft. It'll still be Fieldcraft Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Once it was going to move away and separate, but now that it's all under one roof under me.
Got it. I see.
Yeah. Yep.
Fuck yeah.
So, it'll still be Fieldcraft Jiu-Jitsu, Fieldcraft Survival, Fieldcraft Mobility. So.
Well, bro, we're at 116.
We're at 116.
And we said we're only doing an hour tonight because we're tired. It's late. We got to pack. We're flying out in the morning. Anything else? Any pertinent information?
I'm yawning.
I know, dude. Fucking Lily's racked out over there, and I'm jealous.
She's fucking passed out, dude. She got tuckered out with Louie.
Yeah.
She got tuckered out.
I've actually never seen that before.
That's some National Geographic shit.
No. A young male dog that's so turned on by... Because she's having her period.
She's in heat right now.
And so... Yeah, is that what you say when it's a dog?
Yeah.
she's having her period. Yeah. But the second he smells her pussy, his hips start gyrating.
Oh, dude.
And he's not even mounted on her. He's just like,
can't help it.
Smell the pussy, hips gyrate. Smell the pussy, hips gyrate. And you can tell it's like, and then he started getting like a smile on his face.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I don't know what's going on right now.
I want that pussy.
But something feels really good.
Yeah.
And then she turns around, snaps him. Get the fuck away, dude. Yeah. It's going to take a motherfucker to breed her.
Oh, yeah, dude. Although I'm telling you, she was around one intact male, and she was sticking her ass in his face.
So I guess, she knows what's up
puffing it out. Yeah, dude.
She's
and I was like, get the fuck away from him. Get over here, you fucking little hussy.
Do you know her heat cycles?
I'm like figuring it out. I had to mark this one, and I'm figuring it out.
I hope she's not in heat at Guns and Geese, actually.
She won't be.
She won't be.
No.
How often?
Dude, I've had her, she's almost 3, and this is her 3rd heat cycle.
Oh, so like almost one a year.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, yeah, she won't be in heat at Guns and Geese.
Good. Then her and Goves can become fucking.
Oh yeah.
Best friends.
No, but it's no different than us, dude. Think about when we were like 6 or 7 years old, and that fucking hot babysitter that used to fucking come over from next door.
6?
Bro, yeah, fucking
6?
Bro, 3, dude. I'm telling you right now, at 3 years old, I had a Swedish au pair, dude, that used to fucking take care of me, and I knew I wanted something, and I didn't know what the fuck it was, but I was like, "There's something about my anatomy."
What do you mean? What do you mean by take care of you?
That's what I wanted. But like, dude, dude, I remember being 6, 7 years old, and I had a little fucking babysitter that I didn't know what I wanted, but I wanted something. Dude.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a fucking lolly. It wasn't a hug, you know?
Fuck, dude. Now I'm trying to fucking remember.
Bro, I was a deviant from the time I was a little fucking child. I swear to God, dude. I think honestly, like fucking pussy makes most of my decisions since I was a fucking kid, bro.
Bro, you're a CEO now. We can't talk about eating ass.
You got to be authentic and transparent.
We can't talk about eating ass and pussy dictating our every single last decision.
Oh yes, we can. I mean, I've got some self-discipline, but you know.
All right, well, just when it's getting good. We'll save that for next time.